guys, and welcome back to another episode of Decoding the Dial. In the last one we talked about AV mode. In this one we're going to be talking about portrait mode. So portrait mode is an automatic shooting mode, so there's not much that you can actually change about your image other than the all-important composition. So this video is going to be more about what your camera's doing for you.
Do me a solid.
When you put it into portrait mode. The first thing that we're going to cover is drive mode. If you're not sure what drive mode is, it affects the way your shutter reacts to your shutter button. So in a continuous drive mode, when you hold the shutter button down, the shutter's going to go and continuously take photos. Whereas in a single shot drive mode, pushing the shutter button one time is going to give you one photo. If you push it again, it'll take another, but if you hold it down, it's still only going to take that one picture. Portrait mode, very conveniently, sets your drive mode to continuous shooting. It does this so that if you line up your framing and your picture is just absolutely stunning, and then right as you're about to push that shutter button, your subject blinks, completely ruins the shot if you only had one photo taken. But if you're in a continuous drive mode and you just hold that down, it's going to take a lot of photos, so as soon as their eyes are back open, their face is still going to probably be in the same spot, and you're going to get an actual usable good image, turning a lost moment into a not so lost moment. Next, we're going to talk about flash, and this one kind of goes as you would expect it to. If your camera decides that it needs more light coming into it to take this portrait properly, it's going to pop that flash up. If it thinks that maybe you don't need more light, it's not going to pop the flash up. There's nothing you can do about this one way or the other, and sometimes it seems like the camera is deciding whether or not it needs more light just based on nothing, which is a definite shortcoming of portrait mode, but maybe your camera will behave a little bit better than mine. That brings us to our next point, which is portrait mode also changes your picture profile, which is separate than a shooting mode, which are what are on your dial. A picture profile is way more behind the scenes than that, way more deep down. You're not going to need to know anything about that for quite a while. But essentially, what the portrait mode picture profile does is warm up the skin tones a little bit and make them a little bit softer, while essentially leaving everything else alone. Which is very nice if you're trying to shoot portraits, because it helps to make them look a lot more professional, and it will generate an all-around, more pleasing image. Last but not least, portrait mode is going to select a very low-numbered aperture or very wide-open aperture for you. Those mean the same thing, but they can seem counterintuitive. What this does is makes it so that the background in your image is a lot blurrier than it would be if you had a higher number aperture, drawing a lot more attention to what you're taking a portrait of. I hope you learned a bit about portrait mode and that you feel comfortable diving into it now. If you're ready to learn more, you can see another episode of Decoding the Dial right here, or if you want to choose your own, there's a link to the playlist up here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.